High above the rest of the world, where the sky feels close enough to touch, lies a land unlike any other on Earth. A place shaped by unimaginable forces. A place where nature rules and humanity learns to endure. This is Tibet. The roof of the More than 50 million years ago, a colossal collision between tectonic plates lifted this land toward the heavens. The result is the Tibetan Plateau, the highest and largest plateau on Earth. Here the air grows thin, the winds grow fierce, and the land stretches endlessly in all directions. It is a place forged by time, pressure, and power. At an average elevation above 4,000 meters, Tibet exists in extremes. Oxygen is scarce. Temperatures shift without warning. Distances feel infinite. Yet within this harsh environment, life persists, quietly, patiently, and with deep respect for the land. For centuries, nomadic communities have called this land home. Yaks move steadily across the plains, providing food, shelter, and survival. Every journey here is shaped by nature. Every step is guided by experience passed down through generations. In Tibet, the landscape is more than geography, it is sacred. Mountains are believed to house protective spirits. Rivers are seen as lifelines flowing from the heavens. Prayer flags flutter in the wind, carrying wishes of peace and compassion across the valleys. This is only the beginning. Beyond these horizons lie deep canyons, ancient roads, hidden monasteries, sacred lakes, and cities shaped by faith. Our journey across Tibet starts here, on the roof of the world. Rivers of the East. Eastern Tibet is where water begins its long journey to the world below. From glaciers and snowfields high on the plateau, three of Asia's greatest rivers are born, the Yangtze, the Mekong, and the Salween. Flowing side by side through deep mountain gorges, they carve the land with immense power, shaping valleys that will sustain hundreds of millions of people far beyond these remote heights. Here in the region known as Kham, the terrain drops dramatically. Forests cling to steep slopes, and narrow valleys funnel wind, water, and life through the mountains. Roads are few, villages are scattered, and the rivers dominate everything. Seasonal floods bring both danger and renewal, feeding fertile pockets of land where communities have learned to adapt to the rhythm of the water. For centuries, these river corridors also served as routes of connection. Along the ancient tea horse road, traders once moved tea, salt, and horses across impossible terrain. Today, modern highways trace similar paths, winding through the same gorges and passes, a reminder that in Tibet, geography has always determined how people move, trade, and survive. ROADS, salt and stone. In southeastern Tibet, human survival has long depended on the land's hidden resources. On the steep red cliffs of Markham, salt glistens under the high-altitude sun. For more than 1,000 years, families have carved terraces into solid rock, extracting this mineral by hand. In a landscape where little grows, salt once meant life, traded across vast distances in exchange for grain, tea, and tools. In exchange for grain, tea, and tools. To reach these remote regions, roads must defy gravity itself. The Jiang 72 turns descends from the mountains in a series of tight hairpin bends, twisting relentlessly toward the valley floor. From above, the road resembles a ribbon dropped from the sky. Each curve follows the natural contours of the land, a reminder that here, engineering does not conquer nature, it negotiates with it. Beyond the roads, the mountains stand unchanged. In the dim red mountains, wind and erosion have shaped jagged monasteries rise in places where few would choose to live. Perched on cliffs and remote plateaus, these spiritual sanctuaries appear almost suspended between earth and sky. Their locations are not accidental. Isolation offers silence, and silence allows devotion to deepen in a land where nature itself demands humility. At elevations exceeding 5,000 meters, monasteries such as Zu Monastery endure extreme cold, fierce winds, and long winters. Here, monks follow routines shaped by discipline and belief, rising before dawn to chant and meditate. Life moves slowly, in rhythm with the sun and the seasons, guided by traditions that have remained largely unchanged for centuries. In central valleys and mountain passes alike, monasteries serve as more than places of worship. They are centers of learning, art, and community. From the sound of prayer wheels turning to the quiet flutter of flags in the wind, these structures embody a deep connection between people, landscape, and faith, a connection that continues to define life on the roof of the world. Many of these monasteries belong to different schools of Tibetan Buddhism, each with its own teachings, rituals, and history. From the ancient Nyingma tradition to later reform movements, spiritual practice here has evolved while remaining deeply rooted in the landscape. The monasteries act as living archives, preserving sacred texts, murals, and chants passed down through generations. Despite their isolation, these monasteries are not cut off from the world. Pilgrims travel vast distances on foot, often prostrating themselves across mountain paths in acts of devotion. Their journeys may take weeks or even months, driven by faith stronger than the challenges of altitude, cold, and exhaustion. For many, simply reaching these sacred sites is a form of prayer. As the sun sets behind the peaks, the monasteries fall silent once more. Shadows stretch across stone walls, butter lamps flicker in the darkness, and chants echo softly through empty courtyards. In these moments, it becomes clear that in Tibet, spirituality is not separate from the land. It is shaped by it, sustained by it, and ultimately inseparable from the mountains that surround it. Of Tibet. In the southeast of the plateau, the land begins to change. As altitude gradually lowers, Tibet reveals a softer, greener face. This is Nyingchi, often called the green heart of Tibet, where forests spread across valleys and rivers wind gently through deep gorges. Moist air from the Indian Ocean brings rain, creating an environment unlike the arid highlands to the west. Here, dense woodlands cling to mountain slopes, sheltering a wide variety of plant and animal life. Ancient trees rise through layers of mist, while moss and wildflowers thrive beneath the canopy. In spring, peach blossoms briefly transform entire valleys into fields of pale pink, offering a fleeting reminder of how quickly life blooms and fades in this high-altitude world. Carved through this landscape is one of Earth's deepest river systems. The Yarlung Tsangpo River plunges into a vast canyon, cutting deeper than the Grand Canyon itself. Its waters thunder through narrow passages, shaped by tectonic forces and relentless erosion, carrying energy from the Himalayas toward the lowlands of South Asia. Towering above the canyon stands Namcha Bawa, one of the eastern Himalayas' most formidable peaks. Often hidden behind clouds, the mountain remains largely untouched, protected by steep terrain and unpredictable weather. For centuries, it has been regarded as sacred, its summit rarely seen and never easily approached. Human life in Nyingchi has adapted to this generous yet demanding environment. Villages are scattered along fertile riverbanks, where barley fields and orchards provide sustenance. Wooden homes replace stone, reflecting both climate and tradition, and daily life follows the rhythms of seasons shaped by rainfall rather than snow. In this region, Tibet feels alive in a different way. Water flows freely, forests breathe, and the mountains rise not as barriers, but as guardians. Nyingchi stands as a reminder that even on the roof of the world, nature can be lush, diverse, and unexpectedly gentle. Ali Plateau, land of the sacred and ancient. Far to the west, the Tibetan Plateau rises once more into an austere and unforgiving landscape. This is Ali, one of the most remote regions on Earth. Here, vegetation thins, settlements disappear, and the land stretches endlessly beneath a vast, empty sky. At elevations exceeding 4,000 meters, survival depends on resilience and deep respect for nature. Over millions of years, wind and water have sculpted the terrain into extraordinary forms. In the Jada earth forest, towering pillars of clay and sandstone rise like the ruins of a forgotten city. Their sharp ridges and narrow corridors create a maze shaped entirely by erosion, a reminder of time's quiet but relentless power. Human history in Ali is etched into the cliffs. The ruins of the ancient Guge Kingdom cling to steep rock faces, overlooking barren valleys below. Once a thriving center of culture and trade, Guge vanished centuries ago, leaving behind crumbling walls, faded murals, and unanswered questions about its sudden decline. Above these remnants of civilization stands a mountain unlike any other. Mount Kailash rises in near-perfect symmetry, its dark slopes capped with ice and snow. Though not the tallest peak in the region, it is considered the most sacred, revered by Buddhists, Hindus, Jains, and followers of Bon as the spiritual center of the world. At the foot of the mountain lies Lake Manasarovar, its clear waters reflecting the sky with remarkable stillness. Fed by glaciers, the lake is one of the highest freshwater bodies on Earth. Pilgrims circle its shores in silent devotion, believing its waters possess the power to cleanse both body and soul. In Ali, the boundary between nature and belief disappears. The land itself becomes sacred, and every mountain, lake, and ruin tells a story shaped by faith, endurance, and time.